And just like that, the regular season is over for Oklahoma softball. It's postseason time, baby. Best time of the year, pursuit of an SEC tournament championship, pursuit of another trip to Oklahoma City, the pursuit of 5 consecutive national championships begins now. Best time of the year, postseason. All right, I got a lot to get done today, so let me run down exactly what I got to do here. I owe you a short recap of the 6-4 loss to Florida, if you really want it the day after. I'll give you a short recap on that. Apologies, I'm getting that out late. Had a Kentucky Derby party yesterday that kind of, took up my time on Saturday. It was a lot of fun, though. We got to look ahead of the SEC tournaments. What OU's draw is, who can maybe we expect, and give some early thoughts on the SEC tournament coming up this week in Athens. I've got my regular season MVP. Drop yours in the comments. I've got my regular season grade for this team. Drop yours in the comments. I got to look back at my preseason SEC predictions and match them up to what actually happened. We got a lot to do today. We'll kind of look back at the regular season, but also look ahead to the postseason as well. So you guys know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop your thoughts in the comments on the game yesterday, your thoughts throughout the regular season, your overall letter grade, and your regular season MVP. And before I do that, I do want to give a quick shout out. James Dunbar, loyal subscriber to the channel, watches all the time. James, your son told me that you don't even like YouTube. In fact, you may hate YouTube, but you still watch this channel all the time after all the games. And James, I just want to say, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you always tuning in and getting your fix of OU softball here. All right, quick breakdown of the game yesterday. 6-4 loss to Florida. OU loses 2 of 3 to the Gators. Yeah, just not a great day, not what you were looking for to cap off the regular season. And, the last 2 games, unfortunately, kind of leave a bad taste in your mouth, from just the overall regular season. I mean, this should be a weekend that is really celebrated because you won the SEC title. And I think that we've done that, but you wanted a better showing after clinching the SEC championship. And that just wasn't really the case yesterday. Sam Landry, for as good as she's been, and she's been excellent, she's been so good that she's the #1 overall draft pick of the AUSL draft, Athletes Unlimited draft there. So congratulations to Sam Landry. But for whatever reason, she just didn't have her best stuff yesterday. She gives you 5 1/3, 7 hits allowed, 6 runs allowed, 4 of those were earned. But the stat that you really don't like from Sam Landry is the 6 walks that she allowed. 5 strikeouts, but she allowed 6 walks. And haven't seen a ton of games where walks have been an issue for Sam Landry. So like to see her clean that up moving forward. And, with what we've seen from her, I'm going to guess that there's not going to be very many times, if any at all, in the postseason where Sam Landry walks 6 batters in a game. At least I hope that's not the case. I kind of think Sam Landry, as we get in the postseason now, she's really going to rise to the occasion and maybe even show her best stuff, even though she's been really, really good throughout the regular season. Remember, we've seen pitchers in the past, transfer portal pitchers in the past, be good in the regular season, but even elevate their game a little bit more once they get to postseason. Kelly Maxwell comes to mind. G. Juarez comes to mind. There's a couple of there. So hopefully that happens with Sam Landry, because this team, to win an SEC tournament, to win a national championship, Sam Landry's going to have to be at her best for sure. Now, they need to develop that #2 pitcher. That is still a big question mark, but hopefully Sam Landry can be better than what she was against Florida on Saturday. And it just felt like every single inning she was in a jam. And I believe just the one inning that she had, it may have been in the 5th inning or the 4th inning, just 1 3 up and 3 down inning. Now, Florida is a really good offense, and we've got to acknowledge that, but just not super sharp from Sam Landry. And like I said, it felt like every single inning, whether she gave up a run or not, it felt like she was consistently in a jam, and there were runners in scoring position all afternoon. Offensively, not your best either. 6 hits, 9 left on base. You don't like that number. You get down early. Cyd Sanders got absolutely robbed by Kendra Falby in the top of the 2nd inning. Tip of the cap to her. She made a couple of defensive plays this week that were absolutely insane. Like, Falby is legit. She's really good. She's really good at the plate. She's really good defensively. She's one of the best players that I think that OU has seen this year. And unfortunately, she flexed a little bit this weekend with the glove there in center field. Made a great play on Friday night. Made a great play on Saturday yesterday to rob Cyd Sanders of a home run. But if you're looking for some bright spots yesterday, I do have a few. Cyd Sanders did come back and hit a home run. That was very nice to see. Ella Parker just continues to stay hot. 2 for 3 yesterday. And I mean, she's been hitting the ball hard now for, about a week and a half or so. She looks like the best version of herself, which is really important for this team moving forward. But it's not like she's not getting base hits just because she's getting fastballs right over the middle of the plate and she's barreling those up. Like Ella Parker, had a hit yesterday on a bad pitch and she just took it the other way. So she's hitting good pitches, but she's also hitting bad pitches and turning those into base hits. So I like the way that Ella Parker is really trending at this time of the year. Another game yesterday where she has a couple of hits. Gabbie Garcia, nice to see her hit a home run. She had 3 RBIs on the day. So if you're looking for the positives from the 6-4 loss, Cyd Sanders hitting a home run. Ella Parker continues to stay hot. Gabbie Garcia with the home run yesterday. Hopefully she can get hot again. And then Audrey Lowry, that's back-to-back appearances for her this weekend against that good Florida offense. That was, I thought that was a strong relief outing from Audrey Lowry. It was just 2/3 of an inning, but she didn't give up a hit. She didn't walk anybody. She didn't give up a run. I'm hoping that her confidence is where it needs to be now. Certainly after the Mississippi State outing, certainly after the Texas outing, maybe she's kind of regained some confidence after only getting 1 combined out in 2 appearances against Mississippi State and Texas. But hey, we've got the same question entering the postseason that we've had for quite some time now. Who is the number 2 arm? Who is the number 2 pitcher? I don't know. to put it, to make it as clear as possible, clearly Sam Landry is your number 1, and you would have to win 3 games on 3 consecutive days to win an SEC tournament in Athens, Georgia. I don't think Sam Landry would pitch all 3 of those games. If OU is to win the SEC tournament or to even make it to the championship game, somebody else is going to have to start other than Sam Landry, and someone else is going to have to give you a really good outing. My guess would be that Sam Landry starts the first game of the SEC tournament, but who that number 2 arm is going to be, I think it could be anybody right now. I think it could be Isabella Smith. I think it could be Kirsten Deal. I think it could be Audrey Lowry. So very interested to see if OU wins that game on Thursday and Sam Landry pitches, who comes back on Friday to start game 2. Maybe it's KD. Clearly didn't have a great start against Florida on Friday. Maybe it's her, but I think it's very, very up in the air right now, which is not necessarily a great thing for this team entering postseason. And I would say today, if there's something that, makes me hesitant on this team making another deep run, it would be, hey, Sam Landry's really, really good, but they are so dependent on her, you can't consistently get good starts out of your other pitchers. Maybe that'll turn around at the most important part of the year. Hopefully that's the case. But they've got to find a consistent number 2 arm if we're going to talk about this team winning a national championship. All right, SEC tournament coming up this week. It's actually going to start on Tuesday. Georgia will play Kentucky. First game of the SEC tournament. Ole Miss will play Missouri. Alabama will play Auburn. Now, OU is the number 1 seed. They're a top 4 seed. So they don't get just 1 bye, they get 2 byes. They get the double bye. So this thing starts on Tuesday afternoon. There's supposedly maybe some weather in Athens this week. I guess monitor that. But OU's going to play its first game in the SEC tournament. 11 a.m. on Thursday. That will be on the SEC network. And they're going to play the winner of Wednesday's game between the 8-seed Mississippi State Bulldogs and the 9-seed LSU Tigers. Now, Mississippi State's a good softball team. We know about them. We saw them in Norman a couple of weeks back. You swept Mississippi State, but it's no guarantee, I think we all know here, just because you swept a team in the regular season doesn't necessarily mean that you're just going to cruise against them in the SEC tournament, even if that's who you play. Didn't see LSU this year. They weren't on the schedule, but also a very, very capable team. So you get the double bye, but you're going to face a good softball team in your first game, Mississippi State or LSU. I would guess that Sam Landry pitches that game on Thursday, but OU is really going to have its work cut out for them in a very good conference, of course, to really make a run and win an SEC tournament. Because I would guess that if you win that game against Mississippi State or LSU, you're probably going to draw Arkansas or Tennessee in that game, in the semifinal game on Saturday at 4 p.m. on ESPN2. So not going to be an easy road whatsoever, even with the double bye, just to get to the championship game. You're going to have to face a really good Mississippi State or LSU team. You're going to have to face a really hot Arkansas team, a really good Tennessee team probably in the second round. And then, of course, you could see Texas, you could see Texas A&M, you could see South Carolina, you could even see the Florida Gators, who you just played in the championship game Saturday at 5 p.m. But I'm hoping that we're coming out of the SEC tournament talking about someone other than Sam Landry giving you a very, very strong performance. I think Patty would like to win this. Of course, if you're in the SEC tournament, you'd like to win this thing. But, of course, the overall focus is the postseason. My guess would be, though, that Sam Landry pitches game 1. You start somebody else game 2. Who might that be? Maybe we'll get a better idea of that as the week moves on. And then I'm going to guess you would bring Sam Landry back in the championship game if you got there. But I think that you need a good showing this week. Yes, you've wrapped up the SEC regular season title. But again, you'd like to win this tournament as well, and you need a good showing because you've lost back-to-back games. I just think that you need to kind of get your confidence back, get your groove back, get your rhythm back. Because you lost the last 2 games, I don't think it necessarily means that you're not peaking anymore, that we can't say that. I still think that you can make that argument for Oklahoma, but you don't want to go into the regular season losing 3 consecutive games or losing 3 of your last 4 games. This week doesn't have to necessarily determine if you're going to make it to Oklahoma City or if you're going to win a national championship or not. But just to kind of get your rhythm back, figure some things out, especially in the circle, I think it's a very big week. And today, now that you're the 1 seed in the SEC tournament, I think that you are very much in consideration for a top 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. Now, if you lose the opening game, are you in jeopardy of that? Maybe. Some people who keep up with RPI and, some rankings a little bit more may have a different idea on that. But you can really secure your place as a top 3 seed or maybe even be the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. And having that conversation, I know a lot of people like to point out OU's weak non-conference schedule, but at the same time, OU really faced the best that the SEC has to offer. Texas A&M was the 2 seed. You didn't play them, but Texas is the 3. You played them. Tennessee's the 4. You played them. Arkansas's the 5. You played them. Florida's the 6. You played them. South Carolina's the 7. You played them. Mississippi State is the 8. You played them. You kind of get the point there. Oklahoma didn't win the SEC because they got a favorable schedule. No, outside Texas A&M, they played every other team not named Oklahoma who finished in the top 8 of the SEC. So if they win this tournament, I think that they are very much in position to be the number 1 overall seed. But for seeding purposes, just for confidence purposes moving forward, need a very, very good showing. All right, regular season MVP. Let's get to that. And when I think of candidates, there's really 3 that stand out to me. And again, drop yours in the comments. Who was your regular season MVP? I think of the captain, Nellie McEnroe-Moranis. I thought that she lived up to what a captain should be for the regular season for Oklahoma. Came up with so many big hits, so many timely hits, played great at third base defensively. I thought that she was fantastic. Nellie is in consideration for me. I think Cassidy Pickering is in consideration for me as well. Really throughout the regular season, she was your best hitter. Now, Ella Parker is coming on here late, and maybe just she could be your most talented overall hitter. I mean, it's her or Cassidy Pickering. But Pickering was really, really good this year. And when Parker was struggling in SEC play, in a lot of those games, she really helped carry the offense. So I think that she's in consideration as well. But regular season MVP to me, most valuable player. Take a player off this team, and who's the player more than anybody else that you'd say to yourself, I don't know where we would be if she wasn't on this team. It's Sam Landry to me. 18 wins on the season as a starting pitcher. She came in clutch as well to close games in relief when she had to. I don't know where this team would be if Sam Landry wasn't on it. I don't think that they'd be SEC champs. I don't even know if we'd necessarily be talking about a double bye heading into the SEC tournament. Sam Landry, she pitched so many games. She pitched so many innings. You had to rely on her a lot. She's just an absolute warrior. Huge fan of her, great pitcher. It's why she was just the number 1 overall draft pick in the AUSL draft. Sam Landry's fantastic, and she's my regular season MVP. I'll hear other arguments. I'll hear arguments for Nelly. I'll hear arguments for Cassidy Pickering. I do think that there are other candidates, but to me, it's pretty clear that Sam Landry was your most valuable player. I think she was probably just your best player, but if you want to talk about valuable, I thought that she was your most valuable player as well. All right, regular season grade for this team. As always, drop yours in the comments. Interested to see what everybody thinks. Look, I hate that this conversation is happening after back-to-back losses to Florida. Because, again, what was a fantastic regular season, an incredibly successful regular season, there's a sour taste in your mouth, unfortunately, because you've lost back-to-back games. But even with that, and I'm recognizing it and I'm acknowledging it, but I don't want those two games to cloud my judgment of the entire season. So if we take a look at the entire season, okay, 43-7 overall record. You were 17-7 in SEC play, and you won the SEC. You were in position to be a top 3 seed overall, and maybe even the number 1 overall seed. We'll see what happens there. Based on, what you lost last year, based on all the new that I always talk about, I think this team exceeded most people's expectations. I think that they probably exceeded even their own coaches' expectations of what they were going to do in the SEC. So with so many young and so many new players, they are in position. They've got question marks just like everybody else, but they are in position to do what we all hoped that they would do, which is really push for another national championship this year. They're clearly in that conversation, and when the odds come out, they may be the favorite to win the national championship. So with all that being said, I give the regular season an A. I give it an A. Not an A-, not a B+, not a B-. I don't want to let those last 2 games really cloud my judgment. And it wasn't always perfect throughout the regular season. Ella Parker was not the best version of herself for the majority of SEC play. For the majority of the season, really the entirety of the season, I would say, you were trying to find who your number 2 pitcher is. So it's not like it just worked out perfectly from start to finish with this team. This team had to overcome adversity, and this team had to figure some things out. And they were able to, along the way, overcome some of the big question marks they have and still win the SEC. So maybe some of you disagree. Maybe some of you are, you're going to let those last 2 games really kind of cloud your overall perception of the season. I'm not going to go about it that way. I give the regular season grade an A. And maybe it should even be an A+ because of what they did winning the SEC, and they had 2 games, left to play. So happy for this team, proud of this team, and hope we can get it going. But a big, big week coming up for this OU softball team. Okay, let's take a look at my preseason SEC predictions, and let's match those up with what actually happened. Here are my preseason SEC predictions that I released at the beginning of the year. So as you'll see, Ole Miss at 15, Auburn at 14, South Carolina at 13, Mississippi State 12, LSU 11. My top 5 look like Oklahoma at number 1, Florida at number 2, Texas at 3, Tennessee at 4, Texas A&M at 5. So not exactly dead on were my SEC preseason predictions. I think only 2 teams actually finished where I had them projected. And most importantly, at least I got this one right. I had the Oklahoma Sooners winning the SEC at 18-6. So you actually finished 17-7, so I was a game off on that prediction. But I did have Oklahoma winning the SEC. What a homer, right? But I did have that one right. That one's the most important. But Florida didn't finish second. Texas didn't finish third. I was close on some there in the top 6 or so. But a couple of those I missed pretty badly. Definitely undervalued South Carolina. Definitely overvalued Kentucky and Georgia. I thought Kentucky would be there because of the favorable schedule I thought that they were going to have in the SEC. But if you guys want to make fun of me for my preseason picks, by all means, I will come back at you with, hey, at least I did pick the overall SEC champ. But if you want to make fun of me, there were my preseason SEC softball predictions. All right, let's find that number 2 arm. Let's get that offense going once again. Let's get ready for that SEC tournament. We'll have some videos coming up this week to preview everything going on in Athens, Georgia. Have a really fun guest coming up Thursday morning. So I'll give you a hint as to who that is as the week goes on, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask this former Sooner, who everyone loves. Everyone loves this player. Recent was on the 4-peat teams. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to ask this player a question that I am scheduled to, as of right now, interview on Thursday. I'll give you more information about that as we get closer. Hey, we did it. We got through a regular season. Appreciate every single one of you because you guys are always liking the video. You've subscribed to the channel. You're commenting. I feel like, I haven't met most of you, but we've established something here. We've established an OU softball community. And there's a lot of you that I've never met you before. I couldn't pick you out of a lineup because I've never seen your face, but it feels like we're friends. And there's a lot of you out there that I feel that about. Yes, I'm getting a little bit corny here on a Sunday afternoon. You're going to have to excuse me, but I love you guys. And there's not a group. I can't wait for the postseason. We're doing the postseason together. Let's go. There's going to be some highs, maybe some lows, maybe some adversity. But we'll get through. We'll get through it all together. We'll get just like we did in the regular season, the highs and lows that happened there. Appreciate you guys as always. We'll talk soon. As always, thank you for watching.